Imagine this. You're in a place where everything feels familiar, yet so far from home. How about you slide that over to me? Rings out as the tension in the air builds, and we realize just how far things have gone. Everywhere's America, yet everywhere used to be our country, and now it's a land of broken dreams and harsh realities. So, what's a woman like Alexandra Dutton doing in the unforgiving world of Texas? Well, she's coming home if only she knew what was waiting for her. The second season of 1923 has finally hit rock bottom for Alexandra, and believe me, no one was prepared for what happens next. We've seen her fight, we've seen her thrive, but now we're witnessing her at her lowest, and it's tough to watch. With everything going against her, the question looms, will there be a light at the end of the tunnel in the next episode, or is it just the beginning of her downfall? Trust me, what's coming might be even worse than you think. All right, let's dive into this because things are about to get intense. As we all anticipated, the fifth episode of 1923 threw Alexandra into one of the most desperate and unimaginable situations we've seen her in simply because of hunger. I mean, just think about it. She's on a train, starving, with no way to get food unless she offers something in return. So, what does she do? She takes a job in the train's kitchen, trying to make the best of a terrible situation. And let's be real. I know I wasn't the only one who let out a sigh of relief when she was offered the job. After all, working in any capacity is a million times better than begging for food, right? It was a small glimmer of hope in the midst of the chaos. But, of course, things don't exactly get easier from here. No, instead, she's faced with more challenges than ever. First, there's a group of British passengers who carry this condescending attitude toward the Americans, and honestly, they just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know about you, but their superiority complex was palpable, and it felt like a slap in the face to Alexandra. But that wasn't even the worst part. Then, she encounters a truly horrible man, a man who thinks it's perfectly acceptable to demand the worst from her. It's heartbreaking, watching a woman already on the edge have to endure such cruelty. And honestly, how many more terrible people can she meet before it breaks her? It's like every corner she turns, there's a new disaster waiting. At this point, I'm genuinely asking how much more can this woman take? I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting exhausted just watching her struggle, and I've had enough of seeing her pushed to the brink. This has to stop, right? At first, she was ready to swallow his assault and move on as if nothing had happened. She needed this job after all. But when he grabbed her in front of everyone without any shame, I think we all knew that the end was near for him. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the brilliance of this show? 1923 has truly nailed the portrayal of a breakdown, and I can't help but marvel at how perfectly they captured Alexandra's emotional unraveling. But more than that, let's talk about Julia Scheer's acting. Can we give her the credit she deserves for absolutely owning this moment? I mean, this combination of storytelling and performance delivered what I think is the most unforgettable scene in the Yellowstone universe. Seriously, I still get chills when I think about that powerful attack she unleashed on him. It felt like a release, an explosion of raw emotion, and honestly, part of me thinks he deserved so much worse. But in a way, I'm glad Alexandra did what needed to be done, even if it was shocking and painful to watch. But, of course, the show doesn't let us off the hook that easily. As we all expected, Alexandra is arrested for her actions. And, let's be honest, it's a tough pill to swallow when the police officer dismisses her claims of assault without a second thought. It really drives home the harsh reality this show continuously hammers your words, your pain, your suffering. None of it holds any value in America unless you have wealth or social standing. The system is broken, and we see that clearly here. It's only when the British lady steps forward as a witness to the assault that the officers start to take Alexandra seriously. Suddenly, Things change, and they arrest the man who attacked her. It's a bittersweet moment, but I suppose it gives us a sliver of hope for America, despite everything. However, hope only goes so far. While the British family offers a helping hand, it's almost too little, too late. Alexandra has already been through hell, and it's so painfully evident in her eyes that she's questioning everything her decision to come to the U.S., her choices, her future. And then there's the exhaustion, that overwhelming weariness that takes over her entire being. I know I can't be the only one whose heart shattered when Alexandra removed her shoes and we saw the raw, brutal bruises on her feet. It was a devastating moment, one that laid bare everything she's endured, and it made me wonder just how much more she has left in her to fight. At this point, I don't know if she can keep going, and I'm not sure how much more I can take watching her suffer. I know we are coming to the end of the series, but I still can't believe how much she had to endure simply to reach Spencer. I mean, yes, as her roommate said, mothers can endure anything, but how much is too much, even for a mother? Let's talk about the upcoming episode of 1923, titled The Mountain Teeth of Monsters, and trust me, things are about to get even darker. From what we know, Alexandra will find a brief glimmer of peace with the British family. But like everything in this show, that peace is short-lived. They soon discover that she's pregnant, and rather than offering her the support she desperately needs, they decide they want to take control of her child, denying her the chance to go to Montana. With no money, the relentless winter blocking her path, and nowhere else to turn, Alexandra finds herself backed into a corner. The weight of it all pushes her to the edge, and, tragically, she begins contemplating the unthinkable ending her life, despite carrying a child. Honestly, it's a miracle that she's made it this far, but just when you think things can't get worse for her, the show proves us wrong. I can't help but wonder how much more can she take before it all breaks her? What do you think about her journey? Is there hope left for her, or has she been crushed under the weight of her circumstances? But Alexandra's heart-wrenching story isn't the only tragedy we'll see unfold in this episode. The tension rises as we continue following Father Renault and Tiana. In episode 4, we saw Father Renault's gradual pursuit of Tiana, who's already on the run. Separated from her lover Pete, Tiana's frustration mounts as she questions why they always seem to be the ones who have to flee. This inner conflict sets the stage for what's coming in the next episode. She's had enough of running. She decides to confront the priest, despite her father's objections. Here's where things get even darker. Mamie Fawcett, after finding the body of Pete, who, as we know, was killed by the priest in the previous episode, will quickly connect the dots and realize the priest is responsible for his death. Devastated, Mamie will track down Tiana and her father, breaking the news to Tiana that her lover is gone. It's a crushing blow, one that sends Tiana spiraling. Despite Mamie's offer of protection, Tiana is done running. She decides to take matters into her own hands and confront the priest, determined to end the cycle of violence once and for all. This will lead to one of the most intense moments yet. Tiana will take the life of the priest. Now, the question is, should Tiana have kept running? Or is it finally time for her to face the music and take control of her destiny? Should she have continued to run, or is it better to end the chase with a final explosive showdown? What do you think will happen next? Let me know your thoughts, because things are about to get wild. By the way, finally, Mamie found Spencer, a scene we were highly expecting since the first time we saw the trailer for the season. But let me ask you, am I the only one who was extremely disappointed by this encounter? Rumors around this meeting were much more glorious and exciting than the actual encounter itself. The only thing they did was call Montana, that was it. This is something Spencer could have done by himself. I don't think Mamie contributed to Spencer's journey, not one bit. In fact, I have to admit that the entire character of Mamie Fosse is a disappointment so far, because she doesn't do anything. Her contribution to the storyline of the show is literally zero so far. Imagine removing her character from the season completely. Would anything change? Well, no. She is a random side character with little to no personality other than being a woman marshal. Every scene we have with her is a social commentary on her being a woman marshal at that time. All right, I'm going to say, can we just talk about how this storyline, while interesting at first, is starting to feel a little redundant? I mean, let's be honest, it was fresh and intriguing when we first got introduced to it, but by now it's starting to feel more like a tool for social commentary than a story with depth. Can we please normalize writing characters into stories for the right reasons because they're complex, unique individuals who drive the plot forward, not just to make a point? I think it's time for characters to have real personalities that make them stand out and keep us engaged. If you agree with me, go ahead and leave a thumbs up emoji. Let's start a movement for better character development. Now, let's talk about Spencer. Honestly, how much longer is this going to drag on? Mamie's storyline has been utterly useless, and it's like nothing has moved forward in Spencer's arc either. The only notable development is that the Marshal of Montana is terrified of Spencer's return, warning him that his presence will spark a war. And what does Spencer do? Shrugs it off like he doesn't care in the slightest. Yes, Montana may not be the same place he left behind, but Spencer's ready to face the new reality head-on. So, the Marshal, clearly rattled, heads straight to the Duttons to warn them this is the news they've been waiting for, and you can bet it'll light up their day. While Spencer endures yet another brutal train ride, the Duttons are getting ready to welcome him home at long last. On the train, Spencer meets a woman in need of food, and of course, true to his character, he tries to help her out. And if that doesn't echo Alexandra's own struggles on her journey, I don't know what does. The parallels are impossible to ignore, and it's a reminder that every character is fighting their own battle, no matter how small the act of kindness may seem. By the end of the episode, Spencer will finally set foot in Montana, after what feels like an eternity on the road. I don't know about you, but I'm just ready for this man to reunite with his family already. Enough with the delays, let's get that reunion happening. And don't think I forgot about Banner and his cold, ruthless approach to handling business. In this episode, he takes it to another level when he casually drops a worker's body from a cliff, saying, "The problem disappears." That line alone should tell you everything you need to know about Banner's descent into pure villainy. From his dark outfit to his cold mannerisms, it's clear that he's beginning to mirror Donald, and let's face it, this is going to lead to his downfall sooner rather than later. In the upcoming episode, Banner's preparing to build an army to fight Spencer after hearing the news of his return. By the end of the episode, it will be hard to tell where Banner ends and Donald begins. It's like we're watching a man sell his soul to the devil in real time, and we all know how that story ends. For more weekly updates on 1923, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.